First of all, I'm wondering if you have done any statistical analysis of how many teachers or people in teacher households have died or been hospitalized due to COVID, and have you done modeling for how many will die or be hospitalized under the various reopening scenarios? And I have a follow-up.
I don't have any information on that specifically. Perhaps Dr. Walensky does from an epidemiological standpoint, but I have not seen it broken down on number of teachers who have died. I don't think that information is readily available. I might be wrong on that, but Rochelle?
I am unfamiliar with data there. What I can tell you is most of the data that we have from schools have demonstrated that, and teachers specifically have demonstrated that when disease comes into the school is not because of spread that is happening in the school. It is because the members who are attending school, teachers, staff, bus workers and whatnot, bus drivers, have gotten disease from the community, not from one another in schools.
Okay, and so my follow-up question is, Dr. Fauci, I've seen you on TV saying that you can't vaccinate all the teachers before you reopen the schools. But I've also seen the president and the vice president saying, look, it's really, really important that we vaccinate teachers and they need to be prioritized. And so I know you don't have the data, but assuming that the number isn't zero, what do you say to a teacher or the person who lives in a teacher household who says, I don't want to be the next or last person to die of COVID because we were forced to go back to school? Or do you say that the number is zero?
Well, first of all, let me just clarify the issue of having to get every teacher vaccinated before you can really open schools and get children back to schools. That really is rather impractical to make that a sine qua non of opening the schools. At the same time that we say that, we do say, and we feel strongly, that we should try as best as we possibly can to vaccinate teachers, and they should be as a high priority within the area of essential personnel. So you definitely want to make sure that you don't get that confused. Even though we don't feel that every teacher needs to be vaccinated before you can open a school, that doesn't take away from the fact that we strongly support the vaccination of teachers. The second part of your question, I think, relates to what Dr. Walensky just said. When you talk about the danger of teachers getting infected, we know that when you talk about infection within the school setting, it's what really is going on in the community that is the risk of infection to anyone, including teachers.
Yeah, let me just.
But does that mean that if like a teacher gets COVID out in the community, are they then spreading it to other teachers in the school? Because I mean, it sounds to me like that wouldn't be very.
Now, the data that we have right now, and Rochelle could come in and sort of supplement what I'm saying, is that when you see infections in the school setting, personnel or students, that it is really reflective of what is going on in the community, not a very special situation of a particular super spreading type of a situation in a school. That's not what we are seeing. We're seeing it reflective of what's going on in the community.
Let me just add one point of emphasis here, and then we'll close. The president and vice president think states should ensure teachers are prioritized, which is already being done, that prioritization of teachers for vaccinations by about half the states in the country. Teachers should be vaccinated, as Dr. Fauci said, like other frontline workers. And like other frontline workers, we should be grateful for their service. But the president and vice president agree with the CDC guidelines that it's not a requirement to reopening schools.